All right, so let's go ahead and create our database. All right, we're in PHP okay, and we've not done anything yet. We just want to go ahead and create our database. All right, so the database we're going to create, we're going to click on new. All right, new here, and then we get this. All right, now the name of our database, we're going to say course underscore app. All right, you can give it any name you want, as long as you can remember it, right? So we'll just say course app. All right, it's very easy, super easy to remember, right? Course app, and then we click on create. All right, so when we click on create, the database tells us that we've created a database. PHP tells us we've created a database called course app. Now we need to create our tables, right? So basically, before you do this, you should have already planned it out, right? You don't just start creating your databases like that. All right, you have to, even if the name comes easy, the table, all right, and the table names, you have to sit and plan it, right? And even though you can always edit, it's always nice to have everything planned, right, before you even start creating them. All right, so we're gonna create a couple of tables, all right, under this database, and I'll give you the field names that we're gonna be using. All right, so let's start with the admin table, all right, where we're gonna have our admins, right? We're creating an application, right? So we're gonna have users and we're gonna have admin. All right, so the name of this table will simply be admin. All right, and it's gonna have about 1 2 3 4 5 6 columns, right? You can see it here, so we got to change this to 6. All right, and then we'll click on go. All right, go. All right, I hope I'm not moving too fast for those of you who are learning this for the first time. And then now here we're gonna put the column names over here. You see that? And then we got types. All right, types are basically like the value, right? If you want the value to be in a string, then you gotta use if you want it in a short string, you gotta use varchar. If you want it in a long string, you gotta use text, right? If you want it in date, you gotta use date, right? And these are basically the most used, right? How do you call it? Types, right? Data types. These are called data types, the most used data types, right? But if you want the advanced one, then you have to start scrolling and checking which one you really want to use, right? So we're gonna start with ID. Always start with an ID, all right? An ID, we're gonna use an integer data type, and the length can be anything from whatever you want, but we're just gonna say 11 for this one. All right, and the ID has to be auto incremented. All right, the ID has to be auto incremented. All right, because we don't want to be putting an ID all the time, right? We just want it to the database to do it automatically for us, right? So over here there is, you see the AI, that means auto increment, right? So you're just gonna check in the box, and when you do that, the database will tell you, look, you want this to be auto incremented. Do you want us to make it a primary button, a primary key? And then you say yes. All right, so either ways you can choose primary here before clicking on auto increment, right? It works either ways, right? Leave the rest like that. We don't really need to do anything else besides that. The next one will be email, all right? And we're gonna go with a varchar, right? And we're gonna say you can say 100 or you can say 255. Just say 255 to be safe. I don't know if anyone has an email up to 255 characters though, but you can just leave it there. All right, leave the rest like that. You don't need to do anything else. All right, then we're gonna say sex, right? This is for admin, right? We're gonna say sex, and then sex we're gonna choose a varchar, right? And we're gonna go maybe 100. This we can do 100, right? And then we're gonna say password. All right, we can just say pass for short. All right, and also we're gonna do a varchar, and we're gonna do a 100 or 255. Let's do 255. All right, some people have some crazy passwords though. All right, and then we get full name here. All right, full name. All right, the name doesn't matter, just make sure you can recognize it, right? Because you're gonna be using it, right? And then we go back and let's do 255 on this, right? And then we have the email. We're gonna go image, and also we're gonna make this a varchar. All right, and we can do 255 for this one also. All right, for this image, basically we just be keeping the image name. All right, we don't keep images in the database. You don't want to do that. All right, because if you keep the actual image in the database, what happens is if something goes wrong, all right, if for example your image gets corrupted or something, then the whole database is going to fail. All right, so basically we're just going to be keeping the path. We're going to be creating a folder where the image is going to be, and then we're going to create a path. All right, but still it's going to work with the ID and everything. All right, so basically if we are querying for an image, then we're taking the ID. All right, then we compare the ID, we match the ID with the image ID, and then the database will go in the folder and fetch for the image for us. All right, so that's the best way to deal with images in a database. All right, so everything is looking great. Now we can go ahead and click on save. Yeah, save over here, and then we're good. Now inside this table, all right, inside this database, all right, we can now see that we have our table called admin. All right, let's go ahead and create another table real quick. So over here, down here, all right, down here, or you can click on the database. All right, and over here you create another table. We're gonna call this users, right? And this is gonna have 5 columns, right? And we're gonna go and put our column names. All right, so we're gonna have ID as usual. It's going to be an integer 11, and it's going to be we need to auto increment this. All right, so you can choose primary here and go and then go to auto increment. All right, and then we have our email. We're going to follow this by an email. All right, we're going to choose 255 for this one. All right, and then that's it. And then we're gonna go to password. Right, password, and let's just put the full name, password, right, so that we know the difference between what we put here and what we put there. Right, password, we're gonna go with 255 also, and then we're gonna go with full name. Right, the full name, let's write this full name like this so that we don't get confused that much. All right, full name, because we're going to be working with these 2 tables, right? So the full name, we're going to go with 255 also. All right, then here we just say amount excuse me, spending underscore AMT for amount, right, for amount. And then we're gonna leave this as integer, right? We just want it to be in an integer form. All right, and here we can say 255 also. So that's it for this table, the users table. All right, we can go ahead and save this. All right, so we can see we have created our 2 tables, admin and users. All right, so right now what we have to do is try and establish a connection to this database. All right, and also try and see if we can communicate with these tables. All right, and yeah, that's basically it. You've created your 2 tables. We've created a database, and we've created 2 tables in the database. So I'll see you on the next lecture.